Hi, I'm Gigi. I'm an ex-Amazon bar raiser and senior leader here at Day One Careers. On today's video, we are going to cover outside work Amazon interview stories. And what I mean by this is we're going to review if it's a good idea to bring stories into your Amazon interview that show you demonstrating the leadership principles outside of work. Before we get going, I just want to let you know there's a great Amazon interview preparation course giveaway at the end of the video, so stick around. Anyway, when people talk to me about outside work Amazon interview stories, they're usually referring to maybe a social activity or club that they're part of, or maybe a life event, sometimes a volunteering situation. Now, outside work Amazon interview stories can actually work, but only within a very limited set of parameters. But very rarely does someone's suggested example fit those parameters. So let's start with, why are Amazon even bothering to ask you to tell stories about your work? Okay, well, that's super simple. Hopefully you know it already. They believe behaviors you've shown at work in the past are good predictors that you'll show those behaviors at work in the future. It's a way of being able to imagine how you'd operate if you were working for them. So if you use an outside work situation for your Amazon interview story, the first question that's going to pop into your interviewer's mind is, why are you having to go outside of work to find a good example of the behavior? Why are you not capable of demonstrating that behavior at work? This is going to send up immediate red flags. Going to do some red flag things. Now, it may be that you have been able to demonstrate that behavior at work in the past, but you feel the out of work story is more impressive. Even if that is the case, let's go back to why Amazon wants to hear stories about your work. It's to help them imagine how you'd operate in their business in the future. That imagination stretch is relatively easy when the two contexts are similar, a job of the past and a job of the future. But if you're offering up a story where the context is very different to work, let's say, I don't know, a personal health issue, that imagination stretch is quite hard. By way of example, I shattered my pelvis about 8 years ago, 9 maybe. Now, okay, I'd love to tell you it was in some kind of dramatic, selfless act where I threw myself in front of an oncoming truck to save my husband's life, but sadly, no, I was playing dodgeball. Very dangerous sport. Anyway, to the point, I set myself a recovery goal to walk again faster than any of my surgeon's previous patients with similar injuries. I'm sure you won't be surprised to hear that after many physical, chemical, and emotional barriers, I reached my goal and delivered the result. Now, would that story help an interviewer imagine in practical terms how I'd behave and act at work to deliver a challenging project? Does it help them imagine how I might behave with difficult colleagues, or failing systems, or changes of scope, or funding issues, and so on? The reality is just no. The contexts are far too different and the extrapolation needed far too much. Just because I was able to achieve a personal health recovery goal doesn't easily lend to a conclusion that I'm very likely to be able to achieve a work-related goal. My motivations, tools, and surrounding frameworks simply just bear no comparison. So this then leads us to the outside work Amazon interview stories that can work. Well, these ones have to be stories where the contextual comparison offers a close likeness to a work environment. So, for example, if you volunteer for an organization and you're delivering a project for them, in this case, even though they may not be paying you, your motivations, tools, and surrounding frameworks are probably quite similar to those you deal with in a paid work environment. Or maybe if you have a side hustle, it may not be work as purely interpreted, but it's still an environment where the motivations, tools, and surrounding frameworks are probably quite similar to those you deal with in a paid work environment. You really want to make it as easy as possible for your interviewer to imagine how you'd behave in a work situation in their company. So, if at all possible, I recommend avoiding outside work Amazon interview stories. Now, what you need to do is click the link here to claim your free Day One Careers Customer Obsession Taster course. Watch that and you'll nail every customer obsession question asked of you in your Amazon interview. Or if you want to do that a little bit later, why don't you check out more here of our incredible insights and advice on Amazon interview preparation.